Hey guys, so I just shot a whole 25-minute video and I shot it in the wrong format. So here we are again. Let's shot again. So guys, today I'm going to show you a little outside. I was planning on doing some work today, but yeah. Well, it's not as bad as when I shot it the first time, but as you can see, it's pretty windy out. And for those of you who don't know, it is currently, well, it's warmed up from my first video. Currently -1 degree Celsius, and it is, I think, 20, 20, 28, 29 degrees. Anyway, it's warming up. So we're inside today. There's not much I can do. Um, so I figured I'd go over what I did this week to get prepped for everything. So, as you guys know, this video, I was able to get this done. Okay, so we've got the drill press done. Everything's in place for that. Huge, huge thing. That's going to help immensely. I did get the belt sander done. I put it back in the box just to um, keep it clean out of the way and everything like that. So the other thing I did was I went shopping yesterday at Home Depot. So I did end up buying a new board to make the pieces for the body parts for the rocking horse. So they're kind of warped. I do have stuck over in this in here. I don't think I can really see it. Oh, there it is. Right here. That's a wood planer. I could plane it down, right? Um, and flatten it out, but then it'd be thinner. I'm not sure I really want to do that. So I think what the plan is I'm going to use those pieces for patterns for additional rocking horses in the future if I make any to sell anything. Um, so those pieces were cut out of wood quite a few years back. Um, this piece of wood right here is about 3 feet, a little over 3 feet, I think, maybe 3 feet. That piece of wood right there cost me over $60. When I first made those pieces, the original pieces, that same wood was 8 feet long. Cost me, I think it was either $26 or $30 back then. And I thought, oh my God, that's crazy. That's so expensive. Now, look at this thing, $60 for that little board. So, for me to make a rocking horse that's worth, or that I could sell for like a couple $100, not going to happen. These things are going to have to be like $300 or $400. But there are other options that I have. I was looking at it, and now the original one that I made was made out of pine. It was a soft pine. It was the cheapest pine. It was, you know, really reasonable. So I could get 8-foot sheets for like $10. Uh, I think they were 8 by 8 sheets, 8 inches by 8 foot sheets of pine. They were really cheap. Made a great rocking horse. It stood up pretty well. I just wanted something that was going to last a little longer. I should have done this 25 years ago. And I'm going to be honest. Those pieces that I got that are cut out of poplar, uh, I made those probably 20 years ago, and I just never put it together. But going through all the pieces when we did 3 or 4 videos ago, the pieces that I cut out, those pieces are all sanded. They're all ready to go. They just needed to be put together. It was just a crazy time back then. You know, it was right around 9/11. Um, there was a lot of uncertainty in my job. Ended up moving for my job because of 9/11. There, a lot of things went on. So, anyways, here we are. I've got the pieces at least cut out. The unfortunate part was, like I said, those two body pieces are warped. Yes, I could send them through the planer and plane them down till they're flat again, but again, I have the bad feeling that it would be really thin. So we're going to end up using that new piece of wood. We're going to cut the pieces out of that. I will save the other pieces. I'm going to try and get all 3 body pieces out of this. I'm not sure it's going to work. I think I'm only going to be able to get 2 out of it at most. So that said, if I can get 3 out of that, I will use all 3 pieces from this to build it. The other pieces I will save because I'm going to need templates to do more in the future. Now I will be having to buy, great English. I will need to buy some other type of wood, and it's likely going to be like 1/4-inch plywood or whatever, to make patterns of the leg pieces, the rocker pieces, so that I have templates for those. So that way I can make more. I can just put it on, slap it down, cut the template, or draw the template out on the wood, and then cut it out of the wood. The downside is they destroyed my bandsaw. They literally broke this table. It is cast iron. You can't you can weld cast iron, but it doesn't weld very well. So Ridgid, unfortunately, does not make the parts anymore. They make door parts, they make the wheel part, they make the piece that goes on the inside of here, the urethane piece, they make this part, everything pretty much except for this piece, which is what I need. So I may try and shop around and see if I can't find somebody that's selling a used one or selling one for parts. If I can find that and get it nearby and save this, I would really, really like to save this, because cutting these pieces out with a jigsaw, which is what I'm going to have to do, is going to be a bear. I'm probably going to go through like 5 or 6 blades, use a blade that is a fine cut blade, because as you can see, this was with a rough cut blade, and you see all this stuff. I don't want that stuff. It makes it harder to sand. It leaves a rougher edge, so it doesn't sand as well. So I do have the jigsaw. I do have some blades, but I also bought some new blades and stuff to take care of that. Some of the things I picked up yesterday was, I did pick up some stuff for sealing up the wood and stuff. So this piece here, so I did buy this piece, okay, and I bought this piece. This piece right here was, I think it was $35 and some change. The issue I have with it, but it's not really a huge issue, is it looks like there's a little bit of mold on there. Now, I'm not using this interiorly. I'm not using it for floor or whatever. But the plan is I'm going to sand this down, and then I bought some water-based urethane. So it will be sealed. I will be sanding outside, so I probably won't. I may get some masks anyways, but I couldn't decide if I wanted the shiny or a gloss finish, so to speak, or a matte finish. I decided to go with the satin. It'll be somewhat glossy, but it won't be a high gloss or anything like that. So that said, all this will be sealed, so hopefully it won't, I don't think it will. Once it's sealed, it should be okay. It shouldn't expand or anything. And plus, a lot of it will be sanded out. Now, anybody knows anything about mold kind of grows down in, and it fingers into things. So I'm praying this will work out nice, but again, this is just a table for me to work on. The reason I'm going to seal it is because if I'm working with paints or glue or anything else, I want a surface that I can just wipe it off. I don't have to worry about it. It'll clean up easily. If I spill oil on it, I can clean the oil off. It won't seep into the wood. And then when I put another piece of wood on, let's say I put a fine piece of wood like this that I'm working with on it and the oil seep through that, well, then I'm in trouble because that oil is now into that wood and it may create problems when I go to seal the wood. So I bought all that yesterday, or day before yesterday, sorry. I got that on my way home from work. So I have all those pieces. The other things that I did buy, my camera will cooperate with me, or I should say my phone. I do use my phone. I don't normally like to buy packs of mixed blades, but I've used Diebold in the past. They're a pretty good blade. They stand up pretty well. So this did give me an assortment of blades. The metal blades, obviously, I wasn't worried about, but the wood blades, you know, I needed a fine cut. There's 3 blades in there that should hopefully get me through cutting this wood because this is a harder wood. So it will chew up blades easily. The other thing I picked up was this drill bit. So this one is not the one I'm going to use. This is a 3/4, and I believe I have a 5/8 dowel. But I can change the blade on this. This blade changes out. I just basically needed this, but I also wanted the 3/4 drill, but just in case. I did buy a 7/8. I bought a 7/8. So I think this dowel is 7/8. So the 7/8 will go perfectly onto here. So being that I have it on a drill press, when I lay that piece of wood on there, it will go straight through. I don't have to worry about any wonky cuts like when I first did my first one. It was done by hand and it was not straight at all. So this will help me get that through there straight enough, and will it'll help immensely. It'll make a huge difference. I did end up buying, I couldn't find my rollers, so I ended up buying a new set of rollers. I bought a handle, some throwaway trays, 2 extra rollers. These are fine rollers. They're the premium ones, so they're a little more expensive. If I can wash them out, I will. Generally speaking, it's quite a chore, so I tend not to do it out of laziness. But I did get the 3 throwaway pans because again, if I clean it out and it works, great. If not, they're throwaway. They're cheap enough. I'm not going to worry about it. So I got all that. So between all that, that was like $196. That is not to spend for sure. So that right there is a good amount of everything I'm going to need. I think the only thing I forgot to get was glue. I do have some glue in there in my toolboxes and stuff like that, but it's probably pretty old. So I have to go through that and see what that's at, if it's any good, whatever. I have some brushes and things that I used to put the glue on. I do need to go through my boxes and I need to find, I have countersink bits. I also have the plugs to go in to cover up the screws. I have all those things, but I'm not 100% sure where they are. So that'll be one of the plans over this next week or so, to try and dig through these boxes, trying to find all these pieces and start putting it in a pile. And it'll probably have to sit in my room where I don't have any room to go. So I'll get all that together, and then hopefully it's supposed to start warming back up again. This was just one day. We should be like this almost every day this month, but it seems to be pretty warm lately. So I may be able to get a bunch of this done, and I won't have to rush through January and February to get this done in time to take to Florida to give to my grandbaby. So, um, anyways, so that's done. So, and then when I do the tables, when I do these, I might take and put a band around the outside because plywood is not doesn't have a nice finish to the edge. So I may take a banding. I do have some. I think these are one by one pine. So I may just take those, and I have a. You can barely see it right here. I have where that orange thing is right there. That is a table router, so I do have that. The other thing I have to go through is I'm going to have to do a lot of sanding on these. I'm not sure what this is. This may have been laying on a rusty piece of metal or something, but I'm definitely going to have to sand these down again. So that's another project. If that does not sand out well, I'm going to have to get more wood. Matter of fact, while I've got this, we can check this right now. Because I think these are just about, yeah, these are just about, so yeah, I'd have to get another piece of this wood to make two of those. So that's another, what did I say that was for? $60. That's another $60 piece of wood. So I'll have to go through these. I'm hoping I can save these because I really, really, really don't have the money to spend on that. I will spend it if I have to because this is for my grandbaby. But anyway, so we're going to round that up. We're going to get all these things together. So this is the last video for this year, for 2025. I know New Year's is right around the corner. Matter of fact, it is, what is today's the 30th? So tomorrow's the 31st. So 2 more days. So with that said, Happy New Year, everybody, because I won't see you unless I put something up at the last minute on New Year's Eve. But I really want to wish you guys all a Happy New Year, and I hope everything turns out prosperous next year for all of us. And things are starting to turn around finally. Gas prices are coming down, grocery prices are coming down. I'm spending about probably over the last 2 months weekly, my bills for shopping have come down about $75 a week. This last Monday, which was yesterday, my bill came down over $100 for buying the same stuff that I buy every week because I have a set uh, amount of things. Or I say amount of things. I have a set things that I buy every week to make my food to produce. Because again, some of you know, some of you may pay attention. Some of my other videos, I am on a health a health journey. I'm not really dieting. I'm just changing my diet, how I eat, what I put in my body. So that bill has come down $100 this week. So if it keeps coming down like that, and I'm down another 100 in the next 3 or 4 weeks, fantastic. That will help immensely. But so everything's starting to get better. So hopefully this continues to go, and that's going to help me with these projects. I'd love to see wood prices come down because I really wouldn't mind making a few more rocking horses and trying to sell them. But right now, if I make a rocking horse to try and sell it, the wood alone would be probably over $200, not including the stains and the pieces that I need and the screws and all that. I'd be looking at trying to sell these things for like $400 to $500, and that's just, people aren't going to buy that. It, handcrafted or not, people are not going to buy it. I wish they would, but anyway. The other thing, the bench seats, the little stepping stools for the kids. I think when I was going through there, I think I actually have enough to build like three of the bench seats, and we'll see how that goes. And I've got to figure out what parts I need because I do need some parts for those. I think I have all the pieces cut out, like all the main pieces. The thing I think I need for those will be the dowels, um, and which means I will need to buy another dowel drill to fit that drill bit piece that I have already, um, to drill the holes. Again, having that drill press, that little drill press. I wish I had a full size drill press so I could do more stuff, but having that little one will make it so much easier. I should be able to clamp the two pieces of wood together, drill right through. The holes will be nice and straight. Everything will be level up. It'll be happy days for me, but I should be able to get a couple of those together and we'll see what we do. I may try and sell a couple of them off and recoup my money. Next year's video should be out next week. That will be 2026. So 2026, we're going to go over some finances. We're going to talk about where I am, how bad this year really was, how awful I did. I shouldn't say awful. I did okay this year. I just didn't hit all the goals that I wanted to hit. So we'll talk about all that next video as to where we are with that. My goal is to get my own homestead, my own farm, but I'm probably going to have to start with a little house. So we're going to go with that where I'm at. I have options and things that I can do coming up next year that should put me into a greater position to put I don't want to say sizable amount of money away, but it will help me put enough money away that hopefully within the year and a half, 2 years, I will have enough money, a substantial amount of money to put down on a home. My goal is to try and put half the amount of whatever the cost of the home is down because I want to have a payment that's closer to what I'm paying, um, renting my room, paying, because I rent the room. It does not include utilities. The utilities are split. So right now I'm putting out around $1,000 a month. I want to try and get my payment down as close as possible to that $1,000 a month, which will allow me to continue to put what I put into savings right now every month, um, which would get me to a point where if everything went okay, if everything went right, within 2 to 3 years, I would have enough money to refinance the house to get the payments lower still. So that's my goal. We'll talk more about that in next week's video. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for following along that you do. Um, you guys have been smashing it with the likes. Or with not with the likes. You've been smashing it with the video views, and I really, really appreciate it. Um, if I can ask you guys if you can smash that like button when you're watching, that's going to help the algorithm. And hey, drop a comment in the below. Hey, I hate your video. Hey, I like your video. Hey, try doing this. Hey, look at these things. It'll help. It'll help my algorithm, but it'll help me too because it'll give me things to read and look at and see. Maybe something will help me in this journey too. So go ahead, drop a comment in there, and make sure if you guys can. I wanted to hit 75 by the end of this year. We didn't quite do it. It's okay. I'm not upset at all. That's just how it goes. I know I started out in gaming and I built a decent community, and I know it takes a long time. So I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in it till we get a place. Then when I get a place, then there'll be more stuff that I can make videos about. But for now, Happy New Year, guys. Hit that like, hit the subscribe, drop a comment, tell me what I'm doing wrong, tell me what you think I should be doing, and have a awesome new year. We'll see you guys next year.